Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the sound of our tricolour waving in the wind. Can you hear it? That's not just cloth moving, that's 1.4 billion heartbeats beating together for one nation, our India. Today is not just a date, it's a feeling. It's freedom wearing the colors of courage, peace and hope. And I stand here, not just as an Indian by birth, but as an Indian by pride, to say Happy Independence Day to all of India. Freedom was never a gift that fell from the sky. It was never served on a golden plate with a smile. It was wrestled from the jaws of oppression by men and women who were willing to put their lives ahead of their comfort, their dignity ahead of their fear, and their dreams ahead of their safety. When we say, freedom came with sacrifice, we are not reciting a line from a history book. We are honoring the sleepless nights, the tortured bodies, the empty homes, and the unmarked graves that made this very moment possible. Think about it. How often in our own lives do we complain about small discomforts? We grumble when there's traffic, when the Wi-Fi is slow, when the weather doesn't suit our mood. And yet, there were people who walked barefoot for miles under the burning sun just to pass on a secret letter for the revolution. People who went days without food, hiding in forests and caves just to avoid capture. People who saw their loved ones dragged away in the middle of the night, knowing they might never see them again, but still chose to fight. Freedom was not bought with money. It was bought with the currency of blood, sweat, and unwavering will. Every time we see our flag rise high, we should see the faces of those who pulled it from the ashes of oppression. And these weren't just the leaders whose names fill our school textbooks. They were the nameless and faceless. The farmers who left their plows to join marches. The mothers who sold their jewelry to fund movements. The teenagers who faced prison before they could even vote. In our daily lives, sacrifice still speaks to us if we are willing to listen. A mother who wakes up at 4 a.m. to prepare tiffin for her children before heading to work is sacrificing comfort for love. A soldier standing guard at the border on a freezing winter night is sacrificing warmth for duty. A social worker going to flood affected areas is sacrificing safety for service. Freedom was earned by such hearts that put way above me. Imagine a young man during the freedom struggle who knew that carrying a banned pamphlet in his pocket could mean torture or death. Yet he did it because he believed that the truth had to be told. Now think about your own life. How often do we hesitate to speak up against a wrong because we're afraid of losing favor or afraid someone might judge us? Their courage reminds us that freedom is not just a privilege to be enjoyed, but a legacy to be protected with our own choices today. Every battle for independence was not fought with guns. Some were fought with words, with hunger strikes, with silent defiance. There were men who went to courtrooms and refused to plead guilty for loving their country. There were women who wove the tricolour in secrecy, knowing that discovery could mean prison. They did not do it for fame. They did it so that we could wake up in a country where our voice is our own. If you've ever skipped a meal to save money for your child's education, you understand sacrifice. If you've ever given up your dream holiday to help a friend in crisis, you understand sacrifice. The men and women of our independence struggle did this on a scale that is almost unimaginable. They gave up everything so we could have something. Picture this: a soldier in 1942, writing his last letter home before going into a battle he knows he might not survive. He doesn't write about fear, he writes about hope. Hope that his children will one day play cricket in open fields without fear of gunfire. Hope that his wife will never again have to hide from soldiers in her own home. Hope that his nation will stand tall and free. That hope is what we live in today, and it was paid for in full. We take for granted the ability to choose our leaders, to speak our minds, to pray in the way we believe. But not long ago, these were dangerous acts. You could be beaten for raising your voice, jailed for speaking against the government, killed for raising a flag. Every freedom fighter knew this, and yet they chose to stand anyway. Just like in life, when you fight for something worth having, you will face resistance, and sometimes you must risk comfort, reputation, and even relationships to stand for what is right. When you face difficulties today, when you're afraid to chase your dreams because the path is risky, remember them. Remember that freedom was not born from comfort zones. It was born from storms, from hunger, from pain. Just as they endured those trials for a vision greater than themselves, you too must be willing to endure hardship for the sake of your own dreams and the greater good. If you've ever sacrificed a night's sleep to study for an exam that could change your life, you know what it feels like to give up something now for something bigger later. Our independence was exactly that. A relentless giving up of comfort for the promise of a future they might never see, but desperately wanted for us. It teaches us a truth we forget too often: the bigger the dream, the bigger the sacrifice. Sacrifice is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet decision to let go of something you love for something you love more. The freedom fighters chose to let go of the safety of staying silent, the comfort of staying neutral, and the temptation of personal gain because they loved their country more than themselves. And if we carry that spirit into our own lives, if we learn to put the long-term good above short-term ease, we too can build something worth passing on. In daily life, the lesson is clear: if you want to build anything great, whether it's a relationship, a career, a nation, you must be willing to give something up. That is the heartbeat of sacrifice. It's the reason we breathe free air today. And it's the reason we must protect it every day we live. India's diversity is not just something to tolerate. It is the pulse of our strength, the heartbeat that keeps our nation alive and powerful. We are a country where languages change every few kilometers, where the taste of water and the sound of the air feels different from state to state, and yet we are bound together like the threads of a single cloth. Think about it. In most places around the world, differences are seen as reasons to divide, to argue, to fear. But in India, differences are our crown. They are the very reason we shine. Imagine standing in a railway station in Delhi. You can hear Hindi, Punjabi, Bengali, Tamil, Marathi, and even English blending in the same air, like a living orchestra of voices. No one stops to question, why are you speaking that language? Instead, they find a way to understand each other with a smile, a gesture, a shared cup of chai. That is our superpower. It is the silent understanding that even though our tongues speak differently, our hearts beat in the same rhythm. From the snowy mountains of Kashmir to the beaches of Kerala, from the deserts of Rajasthan to the lush greens of Assam, every corner of India has its own food, music, art, and way of life. And yet, when the national anthem plays, all these different rhythms merge into one. In daily life, think about the festivals we celebrate. A Hindu family enjoying biryani during Eid. A Muslim neighbor lighting diyas during Diwali. A Christian friend sharing cake during Christmas. A Sikh Gurdwara serving langar to people of every religion, caste, and background. That's not just tolerance, that's active celebration of each other's existence. In a world where people are fighting over differences, India teaches that diversity is not a problem to be solved, but a treasure to be embraced. Just like a bouquet looks beautiful because it holds different flowers, our country is breathtaking because it holds different people. Would a bouquet of only one flower be special? Maybe for a while, but it would never have the depth, the color, the variety that makes it unforgettable. Every language in India carries history, poetry, and emotion. A Kashmiri lullaby sounds different from a Tamil folk song, but both can make a mother's eyes well up with tears. In daily life, think about music streaming apps. You might find yourself listening to a Punjabi dance track in the morning, a Malayalam melody in the afternoon, and a Hindi classic at night. That's the beauty of being Indian. We are naturally multilingual in our hearts. Our diversity also makes us resilient. Just like a forest survives because it has many types of trees, some that withstand heat, others that endure cold, India thrives because its cultures bring different strengths. The discipline of the South, the vibrance of the North, the warmth of the East, the innovation of the West, they balance and complete each other. In your own life, when you have friends who think differently, who come from different backgrounds, you are richer in perspective. That is exactly what India experiences every day as a nation. Think of the Indian kitchen as a metaphor. Every spice has its own flavor. Turmeric, cardamom, chili, cinnamon, none tries to become the other. But together, they create magic. Our society works the same way. We don't have to erase our identity to belong. We have to bring it to the table so the whole dish, the whole nation, tastes better. There's a reason India can send rockets to Mars and still perform a 200-year-old traditional dance in the same week. Our diversity fuels both our innovation and our tradition. It keeps us rooted while allowing us to soar. In daily life, this is like learning from your grandparents' wisdom while also using the latest technology. You are not stuck in one era. You are enriched by all of them. When we travel within India, we don't just visit a different place. We step into a different world without crossing a national border. You might eat idli in the morning, dal bati in the afternoon, and momos in the evening, all in the same day. You might see temple bells ringing at sunrise, a mosque's azan at noon, and a church choir at sunset, all without a single person telling you that one must stop for the other to exist. This everyday acceptance is the quiet force that holds our country together. Our differences are not just cultural, they are emotional treasures. They allow us to feel more than one kind of pride, more than one kind of belonging. A Gujarati may cheer for Garba during Navratri, but they will also clap with the same enthusiasm for Bihu dancers from Assam. A Bengali may crave their fish curry, but will happily devour a Rajasthani thali. And this exchange doesn't weaken our own roots, it deepens them. Because when you truly understand someone else's way of life, you value your own even more. In workplaces, our diversity teaches teamwork at a level few other countries understand. A project team in Mumbai may have a Tamil designer, a Punjabi manager, a Goan marketer, and a Manipuri coder. They might celebrate Pongal in the morning and Lori in the evening. And in between, they'll still meet the deadline. That's not just coexistence. That's turning diversity into productivity. When the world looks at India, it sees chaos. But when we look from within, we see choreography. The bustling streets, the overlapping voices, the colors, the smells, they may seem wild to an outsider, but to us, it's the dance of life. It's the rhythm of a billion people moving in different steps, but heading in the same direction. And that's the magic. We don't need to all look the same, sound the same, or think the same to stand together. We just need to remember that our strength comes from the fact that we don't. Independence is not just a day we celebrate. It is a duty we carry every single moment we breathe. The flag does not fly high just because of the wind. It flies because of the weight of responsibility each citizen holds. Freedom without responsibility is like a ship without a compass. It might sail, but it will drift into chaos. True independence means acting with honesty, unity, and compassion, because that is the only way a nation stays free in spirit, not just in name. Honesty is the foundation of responsibility. It's easy to cheer when the national anthem plays, but real patriotism is shown when no one is watching. It's choosing not to bribe your way out of a traffic ticket. It's refusing to cheat on an exam, even if you know you won't get caught. It's telling the truth in a business deal, even when a lie could make you richer. Think about it. During the freedom struggle, honesty was not just about speaking the truth. It was about living it. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi didn't just talk about truth, they embodied it. In daily life, when you are honest in the smallest matters, you keep alive the same spirit that once refused to bow to oppression. Unity is the muscle of responsibility. A nation of free people can fall apart if its citizens fight against each other instead of for each other. During the independence movement, people from different religions, languages, and regions stood shoulder to shoulder. They didn't ask, "Where are you from?" Before marching together, they only asked, "Will you walk with me for freedom?" In our own lives, unity means being there for your neighbor when they are in need, even if they are different from you. It's about cheering for the same cricket team, even when you come from opposite ends of the country. It's the understanding that when we stand together, our voices are louder, our hands are stronger, and our future is safer. Compassion is the soul of responsibility. What good is freedom if it only serves ourselves? Compassion is when you stop to help a stranger on the road, when you buy from a struggling street vendor instead of a big chain store, when you listen to someone's pain instead of judging them. During the independence struggle, compassion was in the way people hid revolutionaries in their homes, risking their lives to give them shelter. It was in the way freedom fighters shared their last piece of bread with their fellow prisoners. In daily life, compassion could mean mentoring a young colleague at work, helping your domestic helper's child go to school, or standing up against bullying when you see it. Responsibility is not always glamorous. Sometimes it's inconvenient. It's easier to throw trash on the road than to find a dustbin. It's easier to ignore corruption than to speak up. But every time we choose the harder, better path, we are proving worthy of the independence we inherited. Imagine if every citizen treated public property as their own home. No vandalized walls, no littered parks, no damaged buses. Our country would not only look different, it would feel different. That is what responsibility does. It transforms the space around us. Honesty, unity, and compassion are not separate qualities. They feed each other. Honesty builds trust. Trust strengthens unity. Unity inspires compassion. And compassion in turn makes honesty and unity worth having. If you remove one, the others start to crumble. It's like building a house. Honesty is the foundation. Unity is the walls. Compassion is the roof. Without one, the home of our freedom collapses. In a family, independence without responsibility looks like children who demand privileges without helping with chores. In a workplace, it looks like employees who want salaries without giving their best work. In a nation, it looks like citizens who demand rights but refuse to follow laws. Freedom is not just I can do what I want. It is I can choose what is right, even when I don't have to. That choice is what separates true independence from selfish liberty. Think of a farmer. He is independent to plant whatever he wishes, but he knows his responsibility to choose crops wisely so the soil is not exhausted, to water at the right time, to share with his community if there is abundance. Our freedom works the same way. We can live however we want, but we must choose ways that do not harm our land, our people, or our future. Unity often requires setting aside ego. During the fight for independence, leaders with very different ideologies came together for the same cause. In life, this means learning to work with people you disagree with for a greater goal. In a family, it means putting harmony above being right. In a neighborhood, it means joining hands for a cleanliness drive instead of waiting for the government to do it. Unity thrives not when we all think alike, but when we all think for the same good. Compassion is what keeps freedom human. A nation without compassion becomes a place where the strong exploit the weak. But a compassionate nation uplifts everyone. In your everyday routine, think about how small acts can create big ripples. Giving your seat to an elderly person on the bus, offering food to someone who's hungry, volunteering at a shelter. These are not just good deeds. They are the building blocks of a society where independence means safety, dignity, and opportunity for all. Responsibility is a daily decision, not a yearly speech. Just as independence was one day by day, sacrifice by sacrifice, it must be protected action by action. It lives in our honesty when no one checks, in our unity when no one forces us to stand together, and in our compassion when we have nothing to gain. The flag will not fall if the wind stops. It will fall if we forget the duty that keeps it standing. Women are not just participants in progress, they are the very pillars that hold it up. Every society, every nation, every family that has thrived has done so because of the strength, resilience, and vision of its women. History is filled with proof, from Rani Laxmibai riding into battle with unmatched courage to Sarojini Naidu's powerful voice in the freedom struggle. But beyond history books, the truth is lived out every single day in millions of homes, offices, and streets across the country. Empowering and uplifting women is not charity. It is an investment in the very foundation of our collective future. A woman's role in progress begins even before she takes a step into the workforce or society. It begins in the home, where she is often the first teacher, the emotional anchor, and the moral compass. A mother who insists on educating her children equally, regardless of gender, is planting the seeds of equality in the next generation. Think of a young girl in a village whose mother walks several kilometers just to take her to school. That walk is not just a journey. It is a declaration that her daughter's dreams matter as much as anyone else's. When you uplift a woman like that, you don't just change her life, you change the trajectory of her entire family. In workplaces, empowered women are catalysts for innovation. A company that gives women equal opportunities does not just tick a box for diversity. It gains perspective, creativity, and problem-solving skills that come from different life experiences. Picture a team meeting where a woman challenges the status quo with a fresh idea that no one had considered. That single contribution can transform an entire project's success. Yet too often, women's voices are overlooked or interrupted. Empowering them means ensuring they are heard, respected, and valued, not just invited to the table, but given the space to lead it. In communities, women are often the first responders to challenges. During a flood, you will see women organizing food, shelter, and clothing before any official aid arrives. During a health crisis, you will see them caring for the sick while managing their homes and keeping hope alive. These acts may not make headlines, but they are the backbone of resilience. Empowerment here means recognizing and supporting these leadership qualities, giving them resources and authority to amplify their impact. Education is one of the most powerful tools for uplifting women. When a girl learns, she doesn't just acquire knowledge, she gains the power to make decisions, to protect herself, and to contribute meaningfully to society. There are countless stories of girls from rural areas who, after receiving education, went on to become doctors, engineers, teachers, and leaders, breaking the cycle of poverty for their families. Imagine a young woman becoming the first in her village to graduate from college. Her success sends a message to every little girl watching that their dreams are valid too. Empowerment also means economic independence. A woman who earns her own income has the freedom to make choices without fear. She can walk away from abuse, invest in her children's education, and support her parents in old age. In daily life, think of the small businesses run by women, from tailoring shops to food stalls. Every purchase you make from them is more than a transaction, it is a vote for their independence. Culturally, uplifting women means breaking harmful stereotypes that limit their potential. Too often, society tries to put women in boxes, telling them they can be ambitious but not too ambitious, strong but not too strong. True empowerment shatters these boxes. It tells a woman she can be a CEO and a mother, a scientist and a dancer, a soldier and a poet, not because she must do it all, but because she has the right to choose her own path. Empowerment is also about safety, ensuring that women can walk freely without fear, speak without being silenced, and work without harassment. Imagine the difference in progress if every woman in the country felt secure enough to chase her dreams without constantly looking over her shoulder. Safety is not a privilege, it is a basic requirement for progress. In families, uplifting women transforms dynamics for generations. A daughter who sees her father respecting her mother learns what respect looks like and demands it for herself. A son who sees his sister being encouraged learns that equality is natural. This is how empowered women empower entire societies, not just through their actions, but through the values they pass on. In leadership, women bring qualities that drive sustainable progress, empathy, collaboration, and long-term vision. These are not just soft skills, they are powerful strategies that keep teams united and focused. When women lead, they often lift others with them, creating opportunities for those who might otherwise be left behind. Picture a woman heading a local council who ensures that resources are allocated to schools, healthcare, and clean water. Her leadership directly improves lives. Empowering women is not about making them stronger. They are already strong. It is about removing the barriers that prevent their strength from shaping the world. It is about giving them the education, opportunities, safety, and respect they deserve. It is about acknowledging that progress without women is not real progress at all. In every corner of daily life, from the home to the highest offices, from the smallest businesses to the largest corporations, the pillars of progress are women who are allowed to stand tall, unshaken, and unstoppable. The youth are not just the future, they are the fire that burns in the present. They are the new warriors not with swords and shields, but with ideas that challenge the old, with innovation that breaks limits, and with integrity that holds the moral compass of the nation steady. In every generation, there comes a time when the torch must be passed, and today it rests in the hands of the young. The question is not whether they can carry it. The question is whether they will carry it with purpose, courage, and vision. Fighting with ideas means refusing to accept. This is how it's always been done as the final answer. It is about questioning injustice, asking better questions, and finding smarter solutions. The youth have the power to look at a problem that has existed for decades and see a completely different way to solve it. Think of the students who develop apps to help farmers get fair prices for their crops, or young activists who use social media to unite voices against corruption. These are battles won without a single weapon, but with the might of the mind. The battlefield is no longer only the streets, it is the boardroom, the classroom, the laboratory, and the digital space. Innovation is the weapon that makes today's youth unstoppable. Every invention, every breakthrough, Every new way of thinking is a victory in the war against stagnation. The young are not afraid to disrupt what is comfortable in order to create what is necessary. Picture a group of engineering students designing low-cost water filters for rural villages where clean drinking water is a daily struggle. That is innovation with heart. Or imagine a young woman from a small town creating an online platform that connects local artisans directly with global buyers. That is not just business. That is empowerment through innovation. Every great leap forward in history was sparked by someone who dared to think differently. And today, that daring spirit belongs to the youth. Integrity is the shield that keeps power from becoming corruption and ambition from becoming greed. Ideas and innovation can change the world, but without integrity, they can destroy it just as easily. The youth must understand that the true strength of a warrior is not just in winning battles, but in winning them the right way. It is refusing to take shortcuts, even when they promise quick success. It is standing up for what is right, even if you stand alone. Think of the young whistleblower who risks their career to expose a scam, or the student leader who refuses to buy votes in an election because they believe in fairness. These are acts of courage that protect the soul of a nation. In daily life, fighting with ideas means speaking up when you see something wrong, even if it makes you unpopular. It means suggesting better systems at your workplace instead of complaining about what is broken. It means asking why, when rules seem unfair, and offering alternatives that work for everyone. Every time you choose to engage your mind instead of simply accepting the status quo, you are fighting for progress. Innovation in everyday actions can be as simple as finding smarter ways to use resources, recycling in creative ways, finding new energy, saving methods, or creating local solutions for local problems. You don't need a laboratory to innovate, you need a mind that refuses to settle for good enough. In the freedom struggle, our warriors had to innovate to survive, printing secret newspapers, using coded messages, finding new ways to organize protests. Today, the challenges are different, but the need for creativity is the same. Integrity in the smallest moments builds character for the biggest battles. It is in returning a wallet you find on the street, even when no one would know you kept it. It is in submitting an honest report, even when you could exaggerate numbers for praise. It is in treating people with respect, whether they can help you or not. Integrity makes the difference between a leader people fear and a leader people follow with pride. The youth of today have tools that generations before could not even dream of. Technology that connects them instantly to the world, platforms that amplify their voice beyond borders, and access to knowledge that was once locked away in libraries. But with these tools comes responsibility. Just as a sword in the wrong hands can harm, ideas in the wrong hands can mislead, and innovation without ethics can destroy. That is why integrity must guide every action. The young warrior's battle is not about conquering land, it is about conquering ignorance. It is about replacing division with dialogue, replacing prejudice with understanding, replacing fear with hope. Every new law, every new company, every new movement can either build or break society. When the youth choose to fight with ideas, innovation, and integrity, they become builders of a nation that is not just free in name, but free in opportunity, equality, and justice. The most powerful revolutions often begin quietly, in a dorm room where friends brainstorm a startup, in a debate where students challenge outdated policies, in a single post that awakens millions to an issue they had ignored. The youth hold in their hands the ability to rewrite the story of their country, not in centuries, but in years, even months. But they must remember that true warriors fight not for personal gain, but for the greater good, for the dream of a nation where everyone can rise together. Ideas give you direction, innovation gives you speed, and integrity gives you purpose. When the youth carry all three, they are unstoppable. They are not waiting for change, they are creating it. They are not asking for the future, they are shaping it with their own hands. And in doing so, they prove that the warriors of today are not defined by the battles they inherit, but by the courage, creativity, and conscience with which they choose to fight them. The tricolor is not just a piece of cloth fluttering in the wind. It is the heartbeat of 1 billion souls, the witness to our struggles, our victories, and our dreams. Each color is a sacred promise. Saffron calls for courage and sacrifice. White speaks of truth and peace. Green reminds us of growth and harmony. At its center, the Ashoka Chakra spins eternally, reminding us that life is motion, that progress never stops. Making a lifelong promise to protect and elevate the spirit of the tricolor means living every day in a way that honors what it stands for. It is not about waving the flag only on Independence Day or Republic Day. It is about carrying it in your actions, your choices, and your principles all year round. Protecting the spirit of the tricolor begins with protecting the values it represents. When you choose courage over fear, you keep saffron alive. Courage is not just about fighting wars, it is about standing up for the truth, even when you are the only one speaking it. Picture a young employee refusing to participate in a fraudulent deal at work, risking their job because